So I recently rewatched the film Good Will Hunting from 1997, starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Robin Williams. It's a fantastic film. I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't. But the gist of it is a boy genius not fulfilling his potential. He's wicked smart, as it says in the movie, and he's working as a janitor. He meets this therapist. He decides to actually reach his potential, falls in love in the process. And this film is so relatable to me because I was always the smart kid. And the thing about being the smart kid and being intelligent in general is that you care too much. You're afraid of doing something because you're afraid of doing the wrong thing. Your mind goes at a million miles per hour. Your mind is racing with all the possibilities, all the outcomes of every situation, and it's extremely overwhelming. And you realize how little you know about the world. There's a quote that says, "The only thing I know is that I know nothing." And that can be very true. And when you're labeled as the smart kid, labeled as being intelligent, people talk all the time about your potential, about what you could be doing, about what you should be doing. And there comes a point where you buckle at the pressure, where you're kind of neither satisfied nor dissatisfied with your life. It's like you've not quite reached your potential. It's not that bad, like you're sort of mediocre, yet you always have the idea that you should be doing more. And when I worked as a janitor, I worked as a cleaner in the gym. It was a genuinely chill job. Now, I wasn't planning on staying there forever. I was there for just over 6 months. And the people there were cool. And I genuinely look back on that job fondly. Although I was scrubbing toilets, although I was cleaning goodness knows what out with shower drains, I genuinely look back on it fondly and I'm grateful for the experience. Yeah, there were so many people that I knew and people that even worked there that said I was too good for the job, too intelligent for the job, saying I was wasted there. And I couldn't help but agree with them. But I do have to say, as a disclaimer, I have the utmost respect for people in that profession, having done it myself. Because it's not as easy as it looks. It's very sad that it's seen as a low status job. You know, there was me thinking, oh, the worst thing I could ever be is a cleaner. And there's people that have been doing it for years, but I respect them, man. The grind's the grind. You've got to earn money somehow. And that's a respectable way to do it. And of course, I was looking for other stuff while I was there. I did get another job, did it for a month in December. Wasn't for me, and subsequently I left. And it's things like this, man, that I just wish I didn't have these expectations placed on me. I just wish I wasn't labeled as a smart kid. I wish I could just surprise everyone. Because in school, I was very studious. I did very well in subjects, won awards and such, got very good grades. Same kind of thing in college. People were always asking for advice in Spanish class, in English class, definitely not in biology class because that was a huge mistake for me choosing that. But my strong academic record made people around me believe I was destined for greatness. I believed that I was destined for greatness, and I still believe that I'm going to achieve that. But I don't see it in the same conventional way as other people. I don't need a degree, I don't need a fancy job, I don't need all the status that comes with it to be happy, but I've spent my whole life trying to excel. When I was a kid, I was terrified of failure. I would burst into tears if I thought I'd failed. I remember I'd burst into tears if a teacher shouted at me. I burst into tears when I was cut from this cycling program because I hadn't ridden a bike in a while and I kept falling off it. I would cry when I'd lose competitions. I was genuinely that much of a sore loser because I just I hated the feeling of being failed, of disappointing people. And this isn't to say there aren't benefits to being intelligent. I'm not discouraging people to try and educate themselves. But being intelligent, having an intelligent mind, being smart, whatever you want to call it, it does pollute every aspect of your life. It seeps into your work, your dating life, who you're going to choose as a partner, the time it took for me to learn how to drive a car. I genuinely feel that if I didn't think so much and have such a racing mind, these things would be much easier for me. And I do envy people who have low expectations, either for themselves or from other people, as crazy as that sounds, because they can just sort of go through life without that external pressure. Of course, people have other problems. No person has a perfect life. But if the bar's set really low for them, then more oftentimes than not, they can be pleasantly surprised at where they are. Whereas for smart people, the bar is set so high, and if you get underneath that, even by an inch, you feel like a failure. And I don't feel I can just truly relax and live in my life. I can't fully be myself because of this burden of being intelligent. Like, I have to prove something. I have to owe it to myself, the people around me, to succeed. I've been gifted with an intelligent mind and I have to do something with it. And it's hard, man, because I guess the primary cause of it, the primary cause of me not wanting it is that it takes away your control from your life. Like if you're really intelligent, you've got a really brilliant mind, things just come naturally to you. People think you owe it to yourself, owe it to humanity, whatever it is, to use that mind for the greater good, or at least get a decent job or whatever. And it feels like your path has already been set from you before you were born, and that you can't do anything to change it. And I think that is true to a certain extent, but we can certainly control the present, and we're always going to be in the present. We're never in the past, we're never in the future, we are always in the now. And again, this is the problem with being smart, is that you overanalyze this kind of stuff. I think I just need to learn to what is it, retard max is the popular thing, existence max, where we just enjoy being here, where we don't think too much. Because it genuinely confused me. Like when I was learning to drive, for example, there were people who were not academically smart, but they were passing in a couple of months. Me, I was academically smart, yet it took me a year to pass my driving test. This overthinking has literally taken over my life, affected my life in this way. It is a blessing to be smart, but it certainly does not come without problems and issues and struggles. But let me know if you relate to this. Let me know if you were the smart kid in school and feel like you haven't, matched expectations or whatever. I'll see you in the next video. God bless. And as always, take care.